Yeah,
Off we go.
You've got to rock out to the inaudible music.
Yeah, we get
I was
better
waiting
at
for
it
somebody
every
to
week.
sing.
I
Oh,
can do
man.
that. I'll grab my
No,
guitar.
we're not doing that. We're not doing that with a live audience. It's gonna end really badly.
So everybody, we've got freaking Eric Barnes, Laravel News, the one and only on the bucket. We've made it
Hey.
someplace if we got Eric on the show. That's all I'm saying.
Welcome to the show, Eric.
Well, guys,
Welcome,
thank y'all for
welcome.
having me. It's always
Heck
a pleasure.
Is it interesting that, like, I mean, you've been doing a lot of interviews with your creator series. Is it interesting to be on the opposite side of the riverside?
Yes. Well, the main thing is, like, I feel like I'm wanting to ask y'all questions instead of, like,
I know.
just being here in my,
No.
in my own little world.
You're on the hot seat. You're on the hot
Yeah,
seat.
you're in the hot seat this time.
Yeah, baby.
Sweet. Well, I think something we were kind of interested in getting into with this episode with you, Eric, is just kind of like a little bit of your origin story, hearing about like the start of Laravel News and your time at Userscape and stuff like
When
that.
did you become a superhero?
That was many years ago. No, see, I was born in '79. But no, so sort of the origin story was way back in the day, like, because I'm old, I got started with PHP back like 99, 2000, somewhere in there. And, built an app, sold it. Back then, of course, there was no SaaS apps or cloud or anything like that. So anything you built, basically, you just sold it outright and, whatever. So I did that for about 5 years or so, and basically just did the maintenance, customer support, sales, the whole thing. Ended up getting out of that business, and at the time, it was just this app with it was just straight old PHP, right? And CodeIgniter came along, and I was like, oh, this would be really good. So I did a rewrite, and CodeIgniter got real big into that ecosystem, and I just sort of really liked CodeIgniter, and then it kind of dwindled away, and then all of a sudden I found Laravel, and went on the IRC, talked to Taylor, just sort of really, really liked it. So I want to say through the CodeIgniter days, there was a Twitter account that would just like tweet CodeIgniter stuff. It was like not official, but they would just, like keep the community informed. And I was like, that's a pretty awesome idea. Like, I can probably do this for Laravel. And the other thing was, like, I knew Taylor and everybody would be busy like building the framework, not really care, like not having enough time to actually do community stuff. So I was like, well, I'll just take this role. I only did it through Twitter. And then one day I was like, it's kind of dumb only being on Twitter, because like anything we post has a shelf life of, 24 hours probably. So I was like, why don't we just convert this to like Tumblr? I don't know if y'all remember that or not, but I was like, I can just do like link posts, video posts, all this stuff. So that's basically how it got started, was like a Tumblr thing. And I was like, then people can find us through Google and search engines. And then it just kind of took off. It grew, with the framework. And, we've went through, I guess, 7 revisions of the website, from Tumblr to WordPress to everything in between. And now it's just a straight Laravel app. So it's pretty straightforward. But like I said, as Laravel grew, Laravel News grew as well. And now, I've got Paul helping me. I've got Yannick, I've got Harris. So we've got a little team around us now. So it's getting a little easier to stay informed, because, the framework is now pretty huge in the PHP ecosystem. It's probably the biggest. So we need need more help basically staying up with all the news and everything that's going on within the community.
All right, wait a second. Why did you not start with a Laravel site for Laravel News, right?
Because, okay, so
I was waiting for him to drop the bombshell that it's actually a Rails app.
No, so my motto is do the easiest possible thing you can do, and then when you find something that annoys you, then fix it. And
But you're speaking Simon's love language right
so
now.
that's my whole thing. Like, did I really want to create my own CMS? In the beginning, no. And then at one point I did. It was called Wardrobe CMS, and so I did create one. But then I was like, well, WordPress is more full featured. It has all this stuff, so I'm just going to switch to that. And then then I got annoyed with that, and then I was like, okay, now we'll just do a standard Laravel app and be done with all of it. So that's sort of the way I do things. So everything is very the easiest way forward until it annoys me, and then I go and fix things. So
Yeah.
Cool.
That's a
What's
good
the
recipe.
what's the next iteration of Laravel News? Tell us the future. What's it going to be? You probably don't have any plans right now for it, right? Or do you?
well, you always have plans, right?
Okay.
So for me in the media landscape, right? There is a huge shift going from like the old written blog style articles to video format. And pretty much everything's just moving to video. And I think that's a good thing, because then it gets more personality into it, and you can't duplicate that with AI, is where I'm thinking. Because like right now, we have this community link section, and you can honestly tell like there's so many tutorials that are just written by AI that are people just like spamming out. And as it gets better, I feel like all that's just going to get worse and worse. And then only, sort of along with that, people are using like ChatGPT way more than Google now for programming stuff. So if you have a Laravel question, you're just going to ChatGPT and looking for it versus Google. So then, so our Google traffic has actually went down this year, which is the first time ever in the last 12 years, which is very interesting. So
Right.
more and more developers are definitely moving toward, the ChatGPTs, the Claudes, and all that stuff. So I think, going forward, we're just going to have to sort of adapt with what the future brings. So, and that's right now, I think it's video. That's where I'm thinking.
When
Nice.
did you realize that you were in media now and not like software?
Or community.
Yeah, well, so I had I sort of skipped over that in the original. So I was working at Userscape. So me and Taylor got hired at the same time. We worked together for I guess a year or two before he built Laravel Forge, and then of course that took off, and then he's like, there's no sense in me working here anymore. So for me, as I worked there, that was like my programming and development side. And then at night was just more of like, now I'm a journalist, writer, community person. So when I was able to go full time last year, that's when I realized like, if we want to go this direction, then probably the programming is going to come secondary. And, just because there's not enough time to do everything. And so I guess that was sort of when, in the last probably year or two, is when I really have felt that transition or shift to a whole different personality.
True. Probably really feeling it now that you have multiple cameras in that studio, getting all fancy.
Well,
I'm big time now, baby.
It's not an office anymore. It's a studio.
it's a
Yeah.
studio.
You should
yes.
literally do like a proper news desk, the big glass arch table. You're shuffling your papers, it's like, and now to our correspondent in Ohio,
Yes. That's actually always been like a dream, like just to have some sort of setup like that. And then like, the thing is, I don't know if we have enough content to do like, a 20-minute news show every single morning, just live. Just, you just go on and live and you just
I'd
talk
love
about
that.
what happened,
My God.
yesterday or whatever.
At least once a week, though, right? You can do that
could
now.
be cool. Which we do have the podcast, which Michael and Jacob run. So it does sort of cover the news, but it's every other week. But having a live news show would be kind of neat. I might have to go get like some journalist interns from the colleges around and let them be on camera, because I'm not that great.
What?
Bad idea. I would
How do you
subscribe to this.
How do you get better at anything, though, Eric? Come on.
Exactly. Yep. Just
You're,
keep
you're
doing
great
it.
on camera. Look at that beard. It's so beautiful.
Something interesting is I had Simon on the little creator series spotlight I run, and one of the comments is like, "Are y'all brothers?" Because I guess because we had the beard and we had the same hairstyle. I was like, never thought about that.
Yeah.
Your
If we were
accents are
brothers-
identical too.
Exactly.
Like the privilege is all mine.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I like this idea of the live show though. And like I feel like Eric, you have a little bit of a reputation from like being a Laracon attendee and being the guy like running around taking selfies, interviewing folks. Like this just feels like a perfect fit.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, and that's also why I got all these cameras, because like you have the nice one, and for me it's like I don't want to carry and set this thing up and then bring it home and then reset it back up. So I've been buying like the little Osmo Pocket 3, just like little things that you can just carry around and get sort of content on the fly. Because like for us, like I don't do a lot of like long form YouTube stuff because like I've never felt like I'm a good teacher. I just like to cover the news and packages and things. And so for me, I've been like sort of into like the Instagram, TikTok world more than, and the shorts versus like the long form YouTube. And so those little devices are perfect for that, because like you don't need the best quality, and it's good enough, I guess is the right way of thinking about it. But in the future, hopefully we will have more long form content. It's just hard to I don't know. Not being a good teacher is hard to do. It's hard to get in and all that.
So
Okay,
I heard.
Go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
go ahead.
No, Mr. Fox, because it's a
I'm
different
gonna
subject.
derail.
So am I.
I'm about to derail.
We got to flip a coin. How do we do that
Fight.
virtually?
Fight!
Let's go, dude. I'll take you
rock,
down.
paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors.
I'll take you down, and then like the winner gets to choose, because I would choose for you to go. So then just go.
Okay, sweet. I'm gonna go. How hard did you have to push the Laracon crew for us to be playing golf Monday before the conference starts? And then 2, how do I get on your team?
Okay,
He
so
just wants to win.
Number one, let me think how that happened. I think it was like so Laravel started hiring tons and tons of people, and then I think I was talking to Hank, who's I think he's over the marketing. I can't remember all the job titles, but I was talking to Hank, and I was like, hey, I know you did basketball last year, but what do you think about a golf tournament?
Okay.
We could do captain's choice, rent out the club for the day and all this. And he's like, I kind of like the idea. And so I think that's kind of how it started. And then he reached out to the coffee. I can't think of their name. The people that sell coffee through the terminal.
Terminal
guys.
Yeah, is it terminal? Okay,
I think it's
Like
terminal.
Dax and
Yeah.
all those.
Yeah, and they were like, yeah, we're in. So they're like, okay, let's do it. So that's basically how it started. And then of course the Laravel team, the Laracon team went through and found the course and found all the stuff and basically setting everything up. So I didn't have to push too hard, but I did
Okay,
make
this is
the
awesome.
recommendation.
My question was sort of in jest, but now that I know that you actually spearheaded, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I did.
Of course.
I was like, I can't. So, sort of personal things, like my arm doesn't work. Like if we're on video, like this is straight and this is bent, so I can't actually use the elbow because I broke what they call the radial head off, and it's just a whole thing. So the only sport I can actually play is golf. And so like basketball, I can't shoot basketball. I can't do like shotguns. I can't do that. It's just a whole lot of stuff. So that's sort of why I've just embraced golf, is because I can play it and I just find it fun and
So that's
challenging.
when you became a superhero. When you
Exactly.
broke that. That's your origin. That's your real origin story. Is breaking you.
Yes, and from what I understand, the teams are going to be. They're setting the teams up. I don't know how they're doing the teams. But they did ask me to come early to the driving range and help people that don't play, just to see if we can, help at least get them to make contact with the golf ball. So,
Right.
it should be a fun event. It will be interesting because I don't know how many people golf and don't golf. I'm going to say more don't than do in the community. So that should be fun.
I will tell you.
That sounds great to me.
I'm going. The last time I hit a golf ball was my grandpa's clubs in upstate New York. Our neighbor had a barn, and my brother and I smashed like 8 windows and hit a cow. And we got in trouble, obviously. And then from then on, we just kind of hit him into the cornfield in the back. But I mean, I was like probably 10 years old or something like that. So
Dude,
Yeah,
that's like a
I need
rite of
help.
passage with golf. And,
Yeah.
and like I grew up in Florida,
To hit
and so like
cows?
everybody has a pool, and everybody like has a screen enclosure around their pool on the golf courses. And so like, man, the number of screens I've busted a ball through is like in the dozens.
Oh, that's great. You know what you need to do is just go to Top Golf, in the next
Yeah.
month and get you some practice in.
Yeah.
Mm,
Shane, there's not
Ye-
one far from us.
yeah.
Like Concordish. Let's
Yeah.
do
yeah.
it.
Well, there's one downtown Charlotte, like
No,
near
there's one
Pineville.
in.
Really?
In Pineville,
It's
yeah.
closer to me than it is to you for the Concord one, but yeah.
All right.
Let's go. I
Sounds
think
like a
Eric
good
just
time.
invited us out to Pineville. That's what it sounded like.
You just let me know when. We'll come out. It'll be fun.
I mean, let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's go right
Let's
now.
do You know, Simon, you too. Just come on over.
All right. I'll be there tomorrow.
Just hop on the plane now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, there's a plane just going by. I'll just get that one.
So I heard a rumor that you are going to Copenhagen in a couple weeks. Is that right?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to.
That's why they're called rumors.
But I am going to Amsterdam for JetBrains is doing PHP.
That's
So I am going.
That's
I'm going
what
to
I thought.
Amsterdam.
That's-
Yeah, I'm going to
I got the-
Amsterdam.
I got them wrong. But
Yes.
it was
Europe.
okay. That's
It's
what I
all
meant.
just one
You're
big
going to the
mess, really.
JetBrains thing. That's what I think
Yeah.
anyway.
Yes. Well, the thing that makes me sad is because of family scheduling, Laravel Live London is like the week before, and I'm flying out like the Wednesday after Laravel Live London, and I couldn't do the beginning of that week, so I'm gonna have to miss Laravel Live London. So that's unfortunate. But yeah, so they invited me out to Amsterdam to kind of cover
That's
it,
cool.
as sort of a journalist. And
Awesome.
I've never been to Amsterdam, so I was like, yeah, I'm in, because like it'd be a good chance for me to go out there and see the world that we don't get to normally see over here in America. So
Nice.
quite excited.
I think
cool.
Simon's your first time in Amsterdam was in February, right?
Yeah. It was very cold.
I was
in
about to say
February.
February is not the best
February.
month for Amsterdam. June will be
so-
much better.
Yeah, I think
Or
you're gonna have
May
a
or whatever.
much better experience. But it was still lovely. Like the city. Do you know much about it? It's like canals. It's like the thing.
Yeah.
Amsterdam's all about canals. And I didn't even realize how big of a deal that is. But it's basically just like one big canal, and they built like the city over the top of it, basically. And so there's just waterways everywhere, like in big circles throughout the city, and it's brilliant. It's
Do they have like a canal Uber service?
yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay.
Water
And-
taxis, yeah.
Bicycles everywhere. Everyone's riding bicycles all of the time. That can be kind of annoying if you're walking the streets. But the funniest thing is
You're
like
just constantly
people,
hearing the little bells
Yeah,
on the
ding, ding,
bicycles
ding.
as they come
Oh,
blasting
I'm in the
by
way.
you.
I
Yeah.
remember, like you've got to really look because they don't stop at all. Just like watch out for your life because they're going.
They have
at
the
a
right of
pace.
momentum. Yeah.
Whoa. I nearly got run over a couple of times because I was just like la la la. But it's because of the cold. It's because it was cold. It got to my head. That's why I wasn't paying attention. Anyway, no. The funny thing is like seeing people drive. I'll say normal size cars for Europe, but then big size cars for Europe, which is basically just like a Mini in America. But anyway, driving these down these tiny streets next to the canal, and then reverse parking right next to the water. There's like no barriers, there's no blockade, there's no little like plinth or anything to stop the car. They literally just like park right next to the water, and then what? How'd you get out? There's people like opening the door over the canal, creeping out of their car and like holding onto the side of the car just to get out. It's like, what are you doing? It's wild. It's really nice.
Dedication.
There's some really good food. Cheese is a huge thing in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
So you got to go and get like fondue and pizza and pizza.
And it's very multicultural.
It's amazing.
From like the OG, whatever,
So-
Dutch trading company days and stuff. So there's like a lot of Indonesian influence and some stuff like that too. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool. I think you'll
That
like
is
it a lot.
awesome. So,
Yeah.
speaking of the canals, so I was going to Google this. I haven't done it yet. You know how like you see all these cool pictures of like bicycles like on bridges over the canals. So that's not like one spot. That's just anywhere within the
It's
city.
everywhere. All
Okay.
over.
Okay, perfect.
There's like there's some older streets that are kind of well known as like the spots. There's one part of the town that's particularly beautiful, but it's everywhere basically.
Is
So
this
yeah.
like your dream? Like you can't wait to ride a bike over a bridge?
Who, me? No,
Yeah.
I just wanted a picture. I was just like, I want a
Okay.
cool picture from Amsterdam.
Yeah. No, you'll pretty much go down, and like Simon is specifically talking about more of like the atrium portion of the city. So once you kind of get like beyond the kind of center part of town, right? Like the canal stop some. But yeah, as long as you're in that center section and you're not really close to the main river or some other, like every street you turn down, it'll be that sort
Be
of
pretty.
city. So
It's kind of
awesome.
it's kind of like London. You know, I went there last year for my first time ever, and like the whole time I was like, I got to go get a picture of Big Ben and all that area. And then I went and did the I don't know what that bridge is called, but there's like a little old thing where Marie Antoinette died or something. I'm drawing a blank
This
on
is
what
your
this
cue,
thing.
Simon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Supposed to be jumping in here.
He's
Wait.
Googling.
We already know. I know nothing about everything, so this is
Was it, well, at any rate, I went to this little museum or like this little old timey prison type thing. It's where the crown jewels were actually, and because I got to go through and see the king things, and but anyway, I got a picture of that bridge over there, and I was like, this is I think they call it the Tower Bridge. Yeah, the Tower Bridge.
Yeah, it's like the old blue and white one. No.
Yeah, and I really like that. So that was my whole that was my highlight of like London when I was there. I was like, I got a cool picture from this place, and the bangers and mash and the Guinness. But otherwise, yeah, that was the highlights.
I will say, Eric, if are you gluten free by any
No.
chance? Okay,
No.
good.
Look at that beard.
There are these things called pofferties.
Jeez.
They're these little mini pancake puffs.
Are you back in Amsterdam, Stephen?
Nope.
I'm back. Yeah, I'm already back. In
Yeah.
Amsterdam.
Sorry, I'm
if
making
you-
I'm
notes.
sorry.
There was an
Offerties.
episode of The Bucket maybe 10-ish episodes ago, and Stephen just he just divulged how much he loves Amsterdam and really wants to move to Amsterdam, and now it's showing.
Yeah. I mean, I would if I could, to be honest. And don't ask me how to spell Pofferties. I think there's like a J in there somewhere, right? Because
Well, I spelled it Poferties.
yeah, I think, yeah, sure, close enough. But those are fantastic. Awesome. Where else do we
So-
want to go with this convo? Shane.
Denver.
Denver.
And besides golf, is there anything else you're excited about?
Just the views, I think. I've never actually been to Denver, so I'm looking forward to just seeing how pretty it is. Because I'm assuming it's awesome, so I'm looking forward to that part of it. That's for the town itself. Now the conference, I'm looking forward to. Honestly, I'm looking forward to seeing all you guys in person and all everybody I've met all these years. I
Right.
love that more than anything about a conference. It's just going and catching up with all the old people and meeting all the new people. So that's the part I'm really looking forward to.
We're old people, I guess.
Yeah, y'all are OGs now.
We're old.
Simon has
Steven.
gone gray.
At
I
least
was
he
great
has
at
hair.
like 17, so
At least he has.
I'm only 23, really.
Right.
Man.
Funny.
I'm super excited for Nightwatch to come out. I think that's going to be an amazing product.
Mhm.
I'm excited to hear the updates for Forge. There's some updates
Yeah.
coming out about Forge, and I've tried to poke around and figure out what they are, and I haven't. I got some ideas, but I don't know what it is. I'm curious. I know Eric knows, and he won't tell us.
No,
on the air.
I actually don't know anything on that. I know some Nightwatch stuff, but I can't divulge that yet.
Of course.
But yeah, I haven't. The only thing I've seen on Forge is like what's been on Twitter, so I don't
Yeah.
have any backroom channels to privy information, I guess. So they'll share it when they can. But yeah, so I haven't heard anything on that. I'm trying to think what else they might have up their sleeves. I don't know. It seems like every conference they announce like. Well, the last one, it was like 5 new things, but every single conference is like something big they've been working on forever and nobody knew about, which is kind of neat and interesting. I like building hype around the conferences that way.
I know Taylor. On the he was just on, what was it, yesterday, the day before, with Nuno,
Yeah.
and was talking about like possibly, or I don't know if there's any more than just a possibility, but like having MCP server routes, the .ai or ai.php or whatever in your routes file. So I don't know if there's going to be. It sounds like they're actually going to build like MCP server first class support, something to that effect. So that'd be interesting
cool.
to hear about and to learn about, which I know nothing about. I don't even know how to spell MCP, honestly. I have no idea what these things do. But yeah, sounds interesting.
I like
X. You start with X. So
XCP.
yeah, everything starts with X. Every day should start with X. No. This is like
Okay, Elon.
yeah. uh, so what you had this video about the pipe operator in PHP 8.5. Tell us about that because I didn't watch the video. I don't know anything about the pipe operator. People have been saying like, "Oh, this is a great thing in other languages," and I'm like, "Really? I've never used anything like this in another language. I don't think. What's going on
Right.
with that?"
Well, so I actually just interviewed Brent Roos from JetBrains,
Mm,
PHP annotated. He's into a lot
yeah.
of stuff. But anyway, I had him on my show yesterday, and one of the things at the end, I was like, because he on his little Stitcher host, like he always covers like all the new PHP features that are coming
Yeah.
out, and I was like, explain the pipe operator in 60 seconds for the people, and so he did, and so I am going to regurgitate basically what he said because I'm the
Perfect.
same. I haven't actually
Perfect.
used it. So it's basically the way like you can you can take a collection and you can pipe down through all the different things. So the pipe operator basically, instead of assigning a variable down with all these things and all this jumbled mess of code, it just basically allows you to map on different functions and different things onto the original variable or the original whatever you have at the top. So that's basically all it is, and it's just a shorthand way and make it look pretty. And to me, I like it because when I look at the like a version, that has like, you have all these like PHP functions that are huge, like like huge naming wise, like array map, array whatever. So you can kind of simplify that all into this nice indented line, and you don't have like all this closure stuff everywhere. Basically, I mean you can have closures, but for the most part, it just looks clean and simple in my mind. But I think more than anything, it's not like a brand new like, oh, this is a life-changing thing. It's something PHP could already do. It's just basically syntax sugar at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's my explanation. And probably I did it wrong, but
kind of like because I've seen the symbol is like the pipe, which you like if
Yeah.
you've used Unix or terminal, like you pipe one command to another and kind of
It's
the
exactly
output of
that.
one. It's that,
Mhm.
but then it's got
It's
the
taking
arrow as well,
the
right?
return. Yeah, it's just taking the return of a function, and without having to assign a temporary variable, you can immediately pipe that into the next function. And then the
Mhm.
return from that gets piped into the next function, and you can just do that
Right.
all the way
So
down. So it's
then
kind of
you're
like
not
the difference
having to
between
yeah.
way
you know how if
way
you've
better
ever worked-
explanation, Stephen.
if you've worked with like the string class, like the actual stringable class with Laravel, and so you start with your raw string, but then it's like, do this on it, then this on it, then this on it, and
Yeah.
you're working within the class context, so it's constantly just returning a new static of itself. It feels like that, but instead of needing to be within a class context
Yeah.
and instantiating itself over and over, you can just do it with functions. And it's
See,
very
Right.
similar. Like
You say pipe
return.
operator, and I was thinking something to do with Mario Brothers or something. So Eric, you're way ahead. You're way ahead.
Well,
But yeah,
I was just-
it's just like the pipe in Unix,
see, and
Add
maybe
file
that's why they did the syntax like that. See, you have your
Mhm.
your hyphen, and then you have this, so it looks like you're going into the tunnel that way. I don't
Mm.
know. It could
See?
be.
Yeah.
Smashing
But this is super
Koopas.
popular in functional
Super
functional programming.
popular. Super.
Go and collect some coins and then go in the other pipe and get back out. That's easy.
Yeah, perfect.
Right, so what
Hmm.
we're saying is the pipe operator is the thing that's going to get us some more coins.
Yes.
It'll get us to the princess faster.
Mm, yes.
Mm. Oh no, I already got a princess.
Yeah. I was gonna say I like
Yeah,
the
but
coins. I already got that one too.
she was kidnapped by the lizard
So
dinosaur.
there's this
You have
really
to
weird
save
thing.
the princess.
The correlation is I already got the princess, now I have no coins. So I need more coins. Yeah. So the pipe operator is going to save me. Amazing.
Yes.
All right, got it.
It allows you to keep the princess, is what it is.
Yeah. Keeps her from turning into a dinosaur. I didn't say that.
No, there's no guarantees there. Disclaimer on the bottom of the episode.
Man, now we're gonna have to come out with some sort of package like around the pipe operator that's just using like coins, Bowser, Mario,
Yes.
Luigi, like has nothing to do with programming.
Wait,
It's
wait,
just
wait,
this
wait,
random
wait.
stuff.
Sorry, Spotty just came out with it. You spoke.
Yeah.
It's already done. Good job, Frick. Good job.
That was a great. That was great. That was perfect comedy timing right there.
I get a lot of practice with these guys, so it's pretty nice. So,
Yeah,
what
this-
about a Laravel news app?
I've thought about that. I guess the are y'all still here? It went really quiet.
Because Simon muted his noisy mic, I think is what it
Oh,
was.
okay. Yeah, y'all can actually help me think through this. So I was thinking like, a Laravel News mobile app, or native app. I was thinking more mobile because, it just seems like it'd be more useful. What could I do to make it interesting is, I guess, the thing. And then I was thinking, well, if I, of course, just a feed of articles, whatever, like a normal newspaper or something. But then we could have like a login and maybe you can add articles to your favorites or bookmark them and then use like, probably some sort of AI thing, wrapper, and basically based off of what you bookmark and save, then when you load up the app, it'll just like recommend things that you might be interested in based on what you bookmarked. But then I'm like, well, is that really useful? And is that a lot of work for probably somebody to not even want to use that? And then I was thinking, well, what if we could do it more like a New York Times, and we'll have like a little puzzle section, and every day we could have a Wordle with like some programming word, and you have to solve the problem to get the programming word, and then you can share it on the socials that you solved it in X number of tries. So that's the only two ideas I've had. So I would be very interested in if you have some good ideas for me.
I have one immediately that popped out when you first started talking about this, and that would be like subscribing to certain categories or something to that effect and getting push notifications when a new article for that category comes out.
Yeah.
I like it.
Push
Authors too. You
notifications.
could subscribe to an
Or
author.
authors. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
There's always like Simon's got one. He's got one. He just turned it off. He's like,
mean,
no, that's no good. But I could tell.
You could have like premium articles, right? And rather
Yeah.
than necessarily having to charge like a subscription for people to access the article, you could do that. But what would be really cool is if they just want to get the one article and you just like do an in-app purchase. It's like tap to unlock and then it charges them, I don't know, $1 or something.
Like they have like a stamp of written by human or something, like some sort of like certified human, you know what I mean?
Written by human.
But you could also do like a streaming thing, like if you did do the TV, like get your news desk, get all your lights sorted. You could have a laravelnews.tv.
I do
And
like
that could
that
stream
idea.
into the app.
So that sort of does bring into, this is sort of unrelated to that, but since we're all here, so like we're creating all these like the vertical videos, for like Instagram and TikTok and all that, and basically they're just on those services. It would be really nice to pipe those into the website, but I assume we would need to host those somewhere else. Is that what? Do y'all have any experience in any of that sort of things?
I
A little
don't.
bit.
I haven't had experience with. Oh, I guess Simon would have way more experience than us.
I mean, in terms of like hosting video, S3 is really good for that now. So you can just chuck some video onto S3 and it'll be like streamed and all of that for you. there are layers like above that if you really want to do like proper content delivery sort of globally, which I think you probably want to do. Um, and then live stream is slightly different because you need to encode, like ship it over, and it needs to be decoded on the other end. So that's a different lift, but it's sort of like AWS has got all of these services, you know. It's like
Okay.
there'll be something
Interesting.
there that you just basically plug your streaming software, you know, into a
Mhm.
stream inlet, and then it figures it out, and it goes out the other end. Basically, I mean that's basically
Gotcha.
everything, like in
Gotcha.
programming,
Yeah.
right? Stick this
Yeah.
pipe into this pipe.
My thing was I was scared S3 would be like crazy expensive for delivering video. So that was my
It's
big
not.
worry. It's like, oh well, here's $1,000 bill, and you're like, oh man, like that's just way more than I was going to prepare to spend on this.
You can get really smart. I did some certifications with AWS a few years ago. You can get really smart with like the way that you store it, and like anything that's old or archived, you can store it, and it's a lot cheaper if they're not being used very often and stuff like that. So you can get smart, and it's not really difficult anymore either, just to set up some rules like, hey, if this hasn't been streamed in whatever 6 weeks or something, move it to cold storage, and then it's not going to cost you as much as to have it stay there. Things that just come out, they're going to be a little bit hotter, and then you can, it's pretty easy to do that stuff.
I like that
I
idea.
thought the gotcha with S3 is not the cost of storing data on it; it's the cost of getting
both.
that data piped out. So like
It's both.
to the actual viewers is like where you can get really expensive.
Well,
Like
that would
network
be
traffic, basically.
it is network traffic, but it's also it's both. And video takes up more room, so you would
Right.
see that significantly quicker than just storing some text files or whatever, right? So that is a consideration for
Mhm.
video.
Okay, I'm gonna ask a stupid question. Is this like something where Vimeo does just not make sense?
I don't know. I
have
haven't
to
even
be
looked. I
homegrown,
was
or
just,
just like
I'm just throwing out ideas that I've had that I haven't actually
Okay.
researched, because I was like, well, you three probably have more experience in a lot more things than I do, so why not toss it out there and see the ideas.
not this side of that
I mean,
coin.
at the end of the day, you could just take an Instagram API probably and just pull them, just pull them in and have them on the homepage and just be like, well, here's your video. If you want to watch it, you
Or
can click
YouTube,
and hopefully
yeah.
watch it without logging in or something. So,
Or you could be the boss and make your own TikTok style sort of app that is all Laravel news.
Laravel.
And
Well, no, it should be for the community. So we could just have like Laravel talk, and you can just go upload your own videos, and
Right.
we'll just have a whole
Exactly.
new service here.
exactly.
Ooh, and that would tap into a lot of cool native functionality.
Yeah.
But then you're having a lot of people then though it's gonna cost you to store and to stream, so you have to figure out a way to monetize something
Yeah.
somehow, right? So, and it's ad space, I would imagine, is probably a big part of that, or can be a big part of that to offset.
Yeah, it could be, but be nicer to have like real payments instead of, well, like right now, like, from a business standpoint, it's much easier. Like if you take native PHP, like your customers are your users. Where, in like Laravel news space, my customers are, these companies over here, but my users are totally
Yeah.
like separated. So it's like, I do things for here, then, they might not get a benefit. Or if I do things over here, then these people might not get a benefit. So there's a little separation there that I would, if I ever did a second product, I would want it all together basically. It just seems like
Yeah.
that's an easier path forward, because then all your marketing and everything is for the one specific person. So I don't
Yeah.
know. Just
Yeah.
throwing out different things here.
No, totally. That's like the classic double-sided platform problem,
Mhm.
right? It's like
Simon.
the people paying you is this small group, but your user base is this big group, and they're like the monetary flow is completely different.
Simon, what is it?
I'm just like, you could just have a streamed channel. Like, I know this is gonna sound crazy, but you could fill it with programming from other people. You have slots, and you basically just go, okay, there's going to be 5 minutes of ads around the slot. So you just book like 2 or 3 of your existing customers for a video ad
Mhm.
either side of the slot, and it might be an hour slot or a half-hour slot or whatever. but then the actual slot is paid for by folks who just want to have a slot on the stream, and then occasionally you have your own programming. So you could like have a Laravel News TV channel, basically.
Yeah, I like this. I
mean,
I need a film crew. They just follow me around and we just talk about Laravel all day.
They've all got the DJI Osmo, whatever it is.
I'm just mic'd up the rest of my life and just walk around. It's kind of like,
Did you know I
Gary
snore? I
Vee or
snore.
something? Just walk around and get
crazy.
recorded.
I didn't know I snored. That's crazy. I found out the hard way.
Eric Truman Show Barnes.
Yes.
Boy, if you and Aaron Francis get together, it'll just be absolute power couple in the reality TV space.
That would be hilarious.
Although I tell you what, I would pay for right now is like the Eric Barnes golf course. Yeah. Teach me how to swing, Eric.
Dude.
All right,
Step one,
I
break
can
your arm.
teach you right now in 2 seconds. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Can you hit a baseball or a softball?
Nope.
You can swing a bat and hit something.
he's like clutching here, Simon. Help me out. man.
No,
Just
this
say
is
yes.
it's totally different. Surely.
Can you take an axe and hit some wood with it?
Yeah, sure.
See,
I think so.
it's- Yeah, but basically, you're basically just swinging like a baseball bat. If you stood up and swung a baseball bat, that's basically your golf swing, and you just bend over and do the exact same thing. And
I love that.
That's all it is.
I'm gonna
Not
try
gonna
that.
say it.
The main thing though is you want to not sway back and forth. You stay positioned in the middle. Don't try to kill it. Just nice, like you're just trying to swing a baseball or a baseball bat and hit a baseball. Same thing.
So the more strength you put into it, the less accurate you probably will be until you get better at it. Is that a fair estimate?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, like there's like I guess there's like a happy medium where you have a most fluid swing. Which is sort of interesting about golf is like, so I can try to hit it as hard as I possibly can, and it won't go as far as if I'm relaxed and swing smooth. Just because when you're relaxed and swing smooth, you're more likely to hit the center of the club face, which makes it go farther. And if you swing hard, then you're rigid and you're not flowy. Basically, your muscles aren't flowing, and you end up hitting it less far. So yeah, that's why these little 80-pound college kids, can hit it like miles out there because they're relaxed and fluid and just know how to move their bodies,
Generating all that lag.
Mm-hmm.
What's the best?
All right.
You've gotten hole in one on par threes, I would imagine, over your. Have you?
Never got a hole in one.
Eagle.
I've had some eagles. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I've had
Par
some
fives?
eagles.
Well, it would have to be.
Well,
Right.
no, I've eagled three. So this is the nerdy part of me coming out. So I have a
Come on.
Notion spreadsheet. I have a
Oh
birdie
my
tracker
gosh! Yes,
and
yes.
an eagle tracker.
I love
And,
where this is going.
So my goal every year at my home course is I want to birdie all 18 holes within a year. So I've been doing it this is my 4th year doing it. I've yet to do it. And so every time I birdie a hole for the first time that year, I write down the date and I check off that, hey, it was birdied this year. So right now I have 3 left for the year, and last year I got them all but one. And the one that I haven't birdied for, it's been 3 years since I birdied this hole. So it's like,
Oh, no.
this hole is just like my nemesis. So I have the birdie tracker, and now I have an eagle tracker. And so I track every time I've had an eagle. So I think I've got 5 eagles on the course.
Eric,
Mhm.
that's your app idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could
This
be.
is
yeah.
it. No, just think about if you made that into a Laravel app,
Yeah.
right? Super easy, right? You just click a button and now it's a native app. on
Birdie
your phone.
buster.
That's true. Yes. There's got to be more.
Okay,
there's got to be a lot
describe
of
this
golf
hole.
things. Yeah.
What is this nemesis hole that is like?
So the way golf handicaps work, right? So every hole is assigned a handicap from 1 to 18. And the front, like one 9 holes has even numbers, the other 9 holes have odd numbers. So like the number 1 hardest will, like on my course, the number 1 hardest is on the front 9. The number 2 hardest is on the back 9, but they're both equally hard. So anyway, this one's on the back 9. It's a very long par 4. It's got a creek running actually across the fairway and down all the way down. It's got a big hill, woods on the right, out of bounds on the right. Left side of the creek is trees. So basically, you have to hit a perfect drive. And then for me, because I don't hit the ball far enough, it's you hit a perfect drive. I'm still like 180 yards out, and then so then you land on the green, and the green just has it's just very undulated, and it's never been a you don't have any straight putts on this thing, so you have to land it pretty close to the hole, and then get lucky basically with your putt, get the right speed and line. So it's for me, it's just a hard hole. So that's why I don't ever birdie it.
And you can't just redo that hole like in a video game. If you don't get the goal that you're going for, you have to do the whole thing all over again some other day.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I never do that. It's got to be within a real round. That's the rules.
Yeah.
No mulligans, no no drop balls, anything. It's got to be a true birdie.
Awesome.
So yeah.
I don't mean to put you on the spot here, Eric, but like, what do you normally shoot in a round?
Oh, I'm really not that good. Like I'm like low 80s, high 70s is
Sweet.
my
That's
scores.
freaking good for me.
Well,
Man.
it's all relative, right? Like I'm decent for a lot of people, but like there's so many people that are so much better than me. Like I played in a net match play yesterday, and we basically had the same handicap, so we should have been really similar, but this guy just waxed me. Like I was terrible yesterday, and so that's the thing with golf is like one day you can be good, and then the next day you can just suck, and it don't make sense. It's like I'm the same person. Why can't I do the same thing 2 days in a row? But
I'm gonna be there with the club, just like swinging away. Like, when's the baseball coming? And and then we're like, see you in 3 days.
Simon's gonna get to the first tee pad, and he's gonna look down, and the little white ball, and he's like, "Wait, that's not a baseball. Why is it so small?"
I was practicing on softballs.
The second time, he will have thought, "Why is it so small that day?"
Just one little white ball, and I'm just gonna be like,
just throw it.
no, I'm gonna kick it. It's like
He'll be out in the woods hitting the tree. This is how he told me to practice.
I think it's gonna be fun though. I think it's gonna be enjoyable. Even because they are gonna do like it's called a scramble format or captain's choice. So you probably gonna have a 4-man team. You just take the best ball out of, you all 4 hit. You just take the best one. All 4 hit again, take the best one, and on and on. And then I'm assuming we'll do like par max, because if you don't get a par, you just need to move on because you could be there all day.
Okay. I'm like, what the heck you're saying things I don't understand. That makes sense though. I get that.
Laravel, what was that?
Yeah.
No bogeys.
No bogeys.
Which I
don't know how they're actually formatting this, but that would be my assumption. Like if I was running a golf tournament, it would be captain's choice, no higher than a par, because when you get, at least locally, with you have a field of golfers, like the winning score is like 18 under to 20 under par with these events. So like if you have one par, you're not going to win. Is basically how it ends up working. I think that would be a good way. And
So
go ahead.
Is it so 4 people go out, they're all basically on the same team, right?
Right.
And then they all all right, so if you hit the ball the best on the first shot, do we all hit from that spot, or do we all hit from the spot that we shot from, or that we hit the
Yep.
Gotcha.
It's whoever. Yeah. Like, so if all 4 of us were playing and, we all hit drives and Steven has the best one, then we all go to Steven's ball and we all hit again from his ball. And then on and on until it's hold.
And then at the end, whoever has the best score wins.
Yeah.
Some money. We have to win some money.
You could. I don't know what they're doing. I'm assuming you get bragging rights for a year, so that's what I'm going with.
Oh, so you're pitching golf for next year already? I see.
I'm pitching it for every event because I love it. I was
already researching, dude. What are you talking about?
I was researching golf courses for Amsterdam, and I was like, oh, there's one here. I was like, yeah, but that's too much trouble. I don't want to do that.
That's great. I'm excited to see, because all right, so my story, and it has really no relevance in anything, but I've never golfed, but on both sides, like my mom's side and my dad's side, they're on both sides, there are like semi-pro golfers that have existed. And I got a set of golf clubs from one of my uncles. I've never even opened them. When he died, he left them to me, and it was like that and a really nice jacket or something. So I have no idea what I even have. I don't even know if it's out in my garage. I got to see if I got them still. I hope I do. So like, I don't know, like, are there naturals, or are there naturals, but you still need to absolutely work on this? Or like, could I be a natural?
Mhm.
Should I just
It could
show
be.
up and just see what happens? Or should
That's
I
totally
practice
up to-
first?
I would honestly go to a range, because you have one.
Okay.
I mean, for the audience, me and Shane are basically in the same area, and we have Top Golf. I have a driving range right outside my neighborhood, so they're everywhere within our little area here. So I would just go and just try to hit some balls just to see how it works, and if you struggle, just let me know and I'll come over and help you or something.
I was gonna say we should plan it. I'm leaving. I'm busy for the next like 2 weeks, but after that, we should find a date. Let's do it.
All right, that sounds
Let's just
good. I
go.
think I might be gone the week after that, but we'll get it figured
right.
out. Yes.
Damn.
And then we'll
gonna
get
be-
you playing, and then you're gonna come over to my course, and we're gonna go play golf on Fridays. We'll have a standing golf on Fridays event.
And then we'll
Steven,
fly.
you're coming down. Simon's
we'll fly to
flying in.
Charleston. I'll fly you to Charleston for lunch. It's only an hour, right?
Perfect.
This all
Exactly.
sounds so romantic. Like, you're gonna have the standing arrangement. You're gonna have lunch. You're gonna touch each other's balls.
We'll build an app around how many balls can I touch your eagle ball?
Oh man.
Because Steven, you're in Raleigh, right?
Just like west of it.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, Central North
That
Carolina.
that might be quite a drive.
It's a little bit of a haul to because you're in Gastonia.
Yeah, which is
Around
just west of Charlotte. Yeah.
Well, how far are you from Pineville?
Me? 30 minutes.
Steven. Because I'm 20
Shoot.
from.
I have no idea. I'm much closer to
Mm.
Pinehurst.
No.
Oh, now
What's
there's an idea.
I'm about to say.
I'm going there
or
in
you
August,
wanna-
so I'm excited for that one.
Oh, sick. That's actually one location that I've kind of gotten the wife interested in, because they have renowned spas and stuff. And
Yes.
so the family members can do that while you go get to play, course number 2 at Pinehurst.
I will
Something like
say Pinehurst is very expensive, so be prepared
Yeah.
if you go there. And the course is walking only, so you have to walk, and they have caddies and stuff. So it is a little different than like a local golf course. It's quite the it's like a it's like a bucket list thing more than anything, I think.
Aristocrat.
yeah.
You're
sure.
you're in Ashboro-ish?
Mhm.
Hour 45.
Not if you
That's
come
pretty
pick me up
far.
in an airplane. Just saying.
There we go.
It would be longer than that for me.
It would.
Round
an
trip
all-day
and all
adventure.
that stuff. Yeah.
He's just flicking through the plane
actually-
catalog. No.
Yeah. Well, at one point, whenever so I first met Eric at an upstate PHP meeting or meetup. And I was like, man, once I figured out that Shane flies, it's like, what would be awesome is we all rent a plane. And then if you fly to Boone, North Carolina, there's a golf course you can literally walk to from the airport. So this would be awesome. Pick us up, we fly out there, we play around, get some food, fly back home. No car involved. Shane, let me
Like
know when
this.
this is going to happen.
I like this.
Give me 6 months.
6 months.
I'm
Now,
I'm
let's
busy.
do it in the fall.
I'm
Let's
busy.
do it in the fall.
I'm just gonna
Well-
say, I don't mind this, flying safe and everything, but 3 of my favorite people in one plane,
Wait a minute.
with Shane as the pilot, probably is ooh.
we'll wear parachutes.
Yeah, that's it. Wear parachutes.
Have one upstairs. I'm ready to go.
I take safety very
Steven.
seriously.
Such a
I'm a very, I kid around a lot, but I take safety. To me, my rule is until we're 1,000 feet up or more, the flight is canceled. We're not actually going to do this. It's all practice. Once we get above 1,000 feet off the runway, now we're on our way to wherever it is we're going. So I very much am always nope, we're going to circle back. We're going to cancel the flight. We're going to whatever. And I've canceled several flights. I've had family members come from from out of state and travel here. And I'm like, let's go. And we get in the plane. We're on the runway. And I just cancel because the winds are too much or whatever the situation is.
Mhm.
I'm not scared to say no, you know.
Yeah.
And it kind of sucks to plan around that too, you know, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I was gonna say my golf course has an airport right beside it, and they fly the little planes in, and we'll be playing golf on like windy days, and just watching those planes come in, like they'll come in like at angles, like this, and then boom, and then it's just wild. I'm like, that has to be scary as crap in that plane, because like
Can be.
these are little like training planes, I think is what they're called. I don't actually know what they're called, but I like watching them. They have a flight school. That's what it is. They have a flight school there. So you're seeing all the students flying around.
They're 172s. And yeah, when the wind is, it gets scary. It can be scary. That's why you practice. That's, same for everything. It's always scary until you practice. I've seen my dad go into like on Tables Plus into a production database. And I'm like, just highlight all of the tables and right click and export. And he's like, oh, no. I'm like, what are you talking about? No. Just scared, right? Like, I do this every day. That's not a big deal, but take get used to it. It is what it is. I was like that 10 years ago too, so.
Right click, export, truncate. No.
Yeah,
and I always do that.
A gust of wind blew his cursor down.
Yeah.
Just like,
Oops. There goes mouse.
Crosswinds that day.
I still do. Speaking of random database stuff, I still like do a lot of my like Laravel News website directly in the database. And it's like,
wow.
You
should not admit that on a podcast.
It's like all the advertisers, like I have four tables for different like ad sections, and like when somebody wants something, I just go in there and add it or change it or whatever, and I'm like, it's easy. Because people email me anyway. It's like most of my customers aren't going to log in and like update stuff, so they'll just email me like, hey, we want to change this. I'm like, okay, I'll just handle it.
Yeah, I think I've done that with you before.
It goes back to the beginning. Until it becomes really a pain for me, I just go the simplest way I possibly can.
Yeah.
And,
Table Plus is just a CRUD interface. I mean,
exactly a live CRUD
ready
interface.
by design.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's really no different, right? Because like if you're in like an admin UI and you delete something, it's literally deleted in theory, unless you're like using soft deletes or something. So,
You've just made the day
I've
of
talked
like
myself into it.
hundreds of old database administrators are going, thank you, Eric. You've vindicated us.
I'll probably getting cursed out when this comes out.
They'd be truly vindicated if Eric had stored procedures, and that's what he called. Whatever.
Oh yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh yes."
You know what I hate? This will be my spicy take. I hate foreign keys, and nobody should ever use foreign keys.
Is it because you don't understand them fully, or what?
That could be it. Because they always annoy me. Every time I've set up a foreign key, and then like somebody goes and deletes something, and like, oh, here's an exception. I'm like, oh, what the crap? And then it's like, it bothers me. I'm like, does it really matter if this thing is orphan? Whatever. Like, I'm not doing mission critical stuff. It's a blog. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
All right, that was my spicy take. So you can just bring your hate now.
I'm with you. I'm actually with you. There was a time like I remember I didn't really understand foreign key constraints, or it wasn't even really well supported in MySQL. And the only way that you could do it was like these arbitrary. It's just indexed, and
Mm-hmm.
So I lived with that.
We could bring our friend of the show, Craig Anderson, in right now, and he will have a party with both of you right now. I promise. Craig.
Well, once you hit a certain,
they're talking shit about foreign keys.
Well, once you hit a certain app scale, you can't use them.
Well, it's not
even a choice. You literally cannot use them at a particular
I think
scale.
I said it wrong in the beginning. Simon had it right. Foreign key constraints, not foreign key, like not just the ID column, whatever. I'm talking about the constraints between tables.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got you, bro.
Yeah.
It can blow up on you if you, especially like, the cascading stuff. If you work with like a really large table and then somebody deletes something and all of a sudden your database is hung for seconds, which is like an eon in database world, while all of those child records are deleted. Then you get screwed. And then as soon as you need to go like really big scale, right? And you're going into a sharded database setup, which I know is like a whole other realm, but like you literally cannot use foreign keys. Like you're not even allowed to define something as a foreign key because it needs to be sharded across machines. And so there's a really large
The
standpoint
worst
to not use.
the worst one is when you have to like restore, like we had this master replication, right? And I don't know if anybody's done that, but for scale,
Master
it's
master, not master slave.
no master. And so basically you could write to either database at the same time, and then to make that work, for IDs, one simple solution is to have the one master have even only IDs and the other one to have odd only IDs, right? And so then when you bring them back
This
together,
sounds so gnarly.
you don't get collisions. You do get duplications, but you don't get collisions. Great. It's brilliant for like restoring everything back. But the thing is, if you're restoring something back and those IDs get out of whack, your foreign key constraints will just explode.
Yeah.
So they become more of a pain in more scenarios than they're worth in some cases. Like, it's just not like how often do you delete something and it needs to cascade throughout the whole database?
Nothing that you just described did not sound painful. So like all of that sounded painful.
That's
definitely
awful.
like there's
I
definitely a
love that
time and a
idea.
place.
Odds and evens, man, that was so simple and brilliant. Like I love stuff like that.
See, and that came from a real database administrator, somebody who knew what they were doing, who's a lot older than me.
Are you sure? Like,
Yeah.
master
Yeah.
master sounds awful. Two sources of truth.
And it
Ugh.
worked beautifully.
That's
It was
gnarly.
brilliant.
Okay. Well, and then today we just have planet scale or serverless Postgres, and so much of that is taken care of. Okay, I digress. What else do we want to talk about while we have Eric on this show? We've been doing this for an hour. Do we need to let him go? Eric,
I
you
want to
got somewhere
go
to be?
back. All the way at the beginning, you said you were working on an app and you sold it. What was that app about?
Oh, so let me think of the right way to explain this. So this would have been early 2000s. Like I want to say I was like 2021 at the time, and of course the web was a whole different world than it is now. So I'm giving you sort of the backstory on how this app came about. So I was working at a motorcycle dealership in sales, like motorcycle sales. We would have people like come in and want to trade in their old motorcycles, and we were, basically if we had too much used inventory, we're like, we can't take it, we don't want it. And they're like, well, what am I going to do with this? And I'm like, okay, well, I don't know, put it in the paper, that it's for sale. So I was like, why don't I create a classified ad script, and I'm going to call it pre-loved motorcycles. And you go there and list your motorcycle for sale for like $4 or whatever. And that way it sort of helps them get rid of their bike, and maybe I can make a little bit of extra money on the side. So I did that, and it didn't take off at all. So I was like, well, what if I took the code and just sold the classified script, and then like you could come and buy it and run your own classified system? It's kind of like early.
Did you invent
like,
Craigslist? Is that
I was
where we're
gonna say,
going?
it's like right around. Well, the newspaper had classified ads, going back all the time. So it was something similar to that. So I was like, well, we could just do this. And so we sold this thing. It was called. It was just a classified script, and we had people that would buy it, and we had everything from people listing, like we had people doing horses, pinball machines. I don't know. We ended up having a lot of customers, so it was pretty sweet. And I went in with a partnership on that, and you know how partnerships go after 5 years or so, and we just kind of went our separate ways, and it sort of went away. But yeah, so that was my first ever foray into internet sales and the whole thing. So yeah,
Was
that's how
that
I got started, basically.
a PHP script, or was
It
it
was,
something
yep.
else?
It was
So you just
100% PHP.
YOLO'd a PHP script. Was it like one file, and you just sold that for hard cash?
No, well, I mean, it was a whole app. So you would,
right.
you would just, of course, back then you could, it was not like a framework now. It was like you get a folder and you open your FTP client and you just drag it into your wherever you want it, and then it'll just run from there. And
it was using Tailwind for sure.
Yeah, for sure. It was. This was before there was really frameworks. Like there was, Laravel coding. None of those existed back then. So it was just straight PHP code. We had the we had the register globals equals all. We had, the any set. We had like all this stuff, and it was just a whole different world, and then we built a whole back end that was basically a licensing system. So you would take your license key and put it, in there, and it would do a callback every, I think it was every. I think the way we did it to kind of combat all the cheaters was it would call back every day for the first like 2 weeks, and then after the 2 weeks it would only call back once a month, and then after like a year it would only call back once a year. So that way we didn't get hammered, and then their app wouldn't go down if for some reason our stuff was down. But yeah, it was fun and interesting, and that was before Stripe. That was before. I mean, I guess PayPal was around. PayPal was a pain in the butt. So we took PayPal, and then we had to use authorize.net, which was a whole different beast at the time. So
and it still is.
It was early days of fun, and yeah. So that's how it started for me.
That's so
How much
cool.
did you sell a single app for?
So the script itself, we sold 3 versions. There was a $99 version, a $199 version, and a like a $400 version. And then you got free updates for a year. And then after your year, we did it where your site would keep running, but you would not get support or updates on the script itself after that first year. So that was basically how it did.
So was this just like residual income for you at some point, or did you end up selling the company and the whole product off to someone else, or?
Yeah. So, well, I just sold it to the partner at the time.
To the partner. Okay.
Yeah,
and got out of it.
But it was my full-time job for 5 years. So it was,
Wow.
well, 2 of us. It was 2. Yeah. We weren't getting rich, but we were making,
Pay your bills.
We were selling it for, we were having like gross revenue of like 15, 20 grand a month. So it was doing
That's
good.
amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So,
That's awesome.
crap, I don't
gee.
know what I was going to ask. Yeah, that's cool. Good
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
Good
It was
job.
fun.
How much work was there on it on a month to month basis?
It was all, like,
That's when you took up golf.
no, actually,
That's when he got good at golf, man.
no, believe it or not, I spent the majority of our time on tech support. Like, I always prided myself as I want the best tech support available. So if somebody would email us a thing, like I would respond in 5-10 minutes every single time. Like that was my job, was like I would sit at my desk for 8 hours, and anything came in, I would respond instantly. So it was 90% of my work was support and sales, and that was really it. And then, just bug fixes and just thinking about new features and stuff. But it was mainly on the support side and the sales side.
How much, and answer however you want to, but like how much time do you spend 40 hours a week with Laravel News, or more or less?
Probably less right now, because I've got the team with me. So one of the good things about
Good for you, Eric.
going full time for yourself is now it might still be 40 hours, but it's very spread out. It's not like a consistent 8 to 5. I usually like to work Mondays all day. Technically I like to work Tuesdays all day, and then more as the week progresses, like Wednesday I might sneak out for some golf. Friday afternoon, golf day. And then Saturday morning I always put the newsletter together, and then Sunday night I'm always approving links and just thinking about like what content we're going to publish next week. So that's usually my schedule. There is I try to get in more golf. Like, if it's like a beautiful day on Tuesday and it's going to be rainy the rest of the week, then I'm checking out that afternoon and going to play golf.
Very nice.
That's great.
I think that's like,
So good.
I feel like when you're learning, developing, and then starting to get a little bit better with developing as a developer. All right. So there's different walks of life in all this, but I felt always like that's the dream, is to eventually, I don't have to work 40 hours. And it's almost like you feel it's like American dream and a little greedy, I guess. But it's really like, if you're not doing it right, you have to do it right. And you should expect to be able to take time away and spend more time with people that you love and doing more things with hobbies. And like,
Yes.
I have a lot of hobbies, but I spend way too much time working, and it's still like, now I've gotten so addicted, I think, I'm a workaholic. And it's like if I just came out and said I'm an alcoholic just now, everyone would be like, oh, we shouldn't really talk about it. But being a workaholic is just as bad, I think, in a lot of ways, because you're taking time away from the things and the people that you love. And it's not,
Well,
It
I
should
was
be
gonna
more
say-
shunned.
Well, for me personally, like that, I really, really hustled from 20 to 30. Like that was like, I was putting in way more than 40 hours, like even when we sold that, got a full-time job, like I would work full time and then come home and do, do Laravel news at night or do all this stuff. It was like, you know, I was basically hustling every day. And then when we owned the script is when I met my wife, and the setup we had was we would see each other on Wednesday nights and on the weekends, and all the rest of it I was working, like you said, way too many hours just on the computer in my little office just doing stuff and trying to make it a success. And looking back, I should have been like, well, we're not really making enough money from this. We need to find something else that's better. But hindsight and all that, at the time you just think I can just keep pushing and pushing, and eventually we're going to find this big break and it's going to take off. But sometimes it just never happens. But for me, it's the consistency of you got to show up. Even if you're taking a lot more time off and you're not spending 40 hours a week, I still feel like it's important to show up, at least an hour or 2 hours a day. You can't just like forget everything and then everything starts to fall away. So that's sort of my mindset now. But now as I'm older, I can take more time and I don't feel as bad about it. So
There you go.
Yeah. You put
I
in
think
that time up front and now you get to enjoy it.
mhm.
What's up, Simon?
Sorry, Stephen. I was
No,
going to
you
say the pernicious thing about like workaholism, if you want to call it that, is that it feels like something good is going to come out of it. You compare it to like being addicted to anything else, almost anything else. It's like that's generally seen as a net negative because it's taking time away, it's taking your energy away, it's taking your thoughts away from whatever. But work is like productive, right? It's this if you're
Mhm.
doing work, then surely something good is going to come out of it. And I think actually the danger is with that mentality. A lot of the times I found myself doing this. I'm just like there, kind of telling myself I'm doing the work just to be like I'm being productive, but I'm not actually. Like like you saying maybe it's not really earning enough. Maybe it's not a good enough thing. Maybe it's not really going anywhere. But you still just like, oh, I just got to plow more time into it. It's like, I think as I've gotten older, I've realized more and more how important it is to step back from putting in the time on things, like recognizing when it's really not going anywhere and saying no, I've got to stop this because it's no good for me and I can't just keep pouring time into it. Because it can still be addictive even when it's not productive. It's just like yeah, it's so dangerous.
That brings up an idea for me. You know how like there's these studies about like full-time employees, you work 40 hours a week and they're actually productive, 15 hours out of that 40 a week or something. And that's sort of the way I feel like, as a business owner, if I can tap into the 15 hours to get as much done as I possibly can, then why sit there for the rest? Just
waste your time.
Just to waste time when in reality, if I'm away from the computer and thinking, then when I come back, it's like, boom, I'm like ready to go and ready to jump in and get all these tasks done and be done with it. So I do find that sort of interesting if you can tap into when you're productive versus when you're not productive. And when you're not, just find something else that you enjoy doing. And you can't do that when you have a full-time job. So that's one of the benefits.
Totally.
Very insightful.
All
I
right, guys.
like this kind of stuff too, by the way.
Yeah.
Mental
we
health.
should let Eric get on with his day. We've been
It's
doing
Friday.
this for
You golf.
It is.
What time you leaving?
What's your
tea
tea time,
is
buddy?
at 12:30. 12:30.
Guys, we gotta wrap this up.
Luckily, the course is only like 5 minutes down the road, so all I
Just
do is change clothes and I'm there.
Well,
Shane,
thank you very
close us
much,
out.
Eric. Thank you very much. It's been a delight.
thank you,
Great friend of us personally, I think, and of the show for sure. And really appreciate you taking some time before golf to come and hang out with us a bit. We'll definitely do this again sometime.
For sure. Man, I appreciate you guys. Thank y'all for letting me come on.